Engineer is the guy that's responsible for availability. So he has to know the standards and the procedures off by heart. But if he understands the process and the texture is not great, he can help them go back and find out what the problem is.
What were the stumbling blocks that you experienced with this process?
There's resistance to change. Absolutely necessary that we educate up in the organization and down. If you're looking for help, then understand this thing, accept it, and believe in it, and support it. This process must work so I can get availability. I get machine availability, I get tons. I get tons, I meet my objectives to my superiors. And we must all understand in order to help the cake being what we want it to be.
Ladies and gents, the first thing you should do for your work areas as a foreman, as an engineer, is to divide your areas or your HME into inspectable sections that can be assigned to a specific artisan. A defect list can be given to every artisan. Every defect that we then create gets its own job initiation form. The artisan then signs for the job initiation, hands it to the foreman, who can then approve the notification easily on SAP, and then hands the job initiation form to the planner.
So boards like this help us get focused on the business of keeping the assets reliable so that we can have high levels of production, high levels of safety, high levels of environmental performance, and hopefully low cost of operation.
Why don't we use these boards and we just make a tag? So my solution was to give them the cards. You do your planning, but you now do it with the cards. So I can come and see what's going on here. Our technical training needs became so much easier to identify. So we trained the artisans, problem fixed. So you need to understand what goes on the operational side, and you need to adjust what you do to help them, because after all, that's the only reason why we have the machines. So I began to understand that you can't just do what you want to do, which is what the maintenance department did. They would just call a machine. Sorry for you, Mr. Mine Captain. I realized that that's not a good idea.
And we've got a job that is at a low priority, but the vibration analysis report is indicating that the problem has worsened at a much more aggressive rate than we had anticipated. Now, I can come in as the reliability engineer and say, hey, we need to elevate this one. Our artisans who are out in the field, they don't naturally gravitate toward computer-based systems to do that kind of intervention. So this just gives you, think of this as a community meeting place that breaks down all of the silos that we have in the organization and gets us focused on what's important. This is what allows people to come together and have discussions about that job, or do we really need to do these inspections, or can we push those off based upon various competing priorities.
Once the defect has been listed, planner has created the job initiation has been completed, and the planner has created the works order on SAP. He creates a little tag that is then placed on either the backlog waiting board, where we're still awaiting spares, or places the card on the same lane under backlog ready. Additionally, artisans would love to see where their defects are that they have listed in the process. Have they received the spares, or are we still waiting for the spares? By a Monday, the FLM pre-populates the board with who's on leave, who's on training, who's on induction, who's on a medical, and inserts it for those people. After doing that, the scheduler can then pre-populate the board with the inspections only. They have, as we've mentioned before, insight into how badly the machine's deteriorating. They can tell the foreman, sir, this job, please will you schedule it for me for next week, for that day. The engineer then needs to scrutinize what work has been scheduled versus what work still remains on the backlog ready board. It's important for production to attend the scheduling meeting as well, that they can have a very good view of what work is scheduled for the following week. Should we come to Monday and I cannot have the drill or that portion of the plant, they need to have a clear understanding of the work that we are cancelling for that day. Most important is that once we walk away from our Thursday scheduling meeting, that the most critical work is scheduled for the following week, considering everything that is backlog ready. It just makes the foreman's life a lot easier when he walks in on Monday and he can speak to the board and hand out the job cards in the pack from top to bottom, top to bottom. It requires a bit of effort, ladies and gents, but it makes the foreman's life so much easier. Additionally, on a Friday, after the schedule has been locked on the Thursday, you can actually draw the list of the materials that are required for these jobs, then loads the bins or the cages in the workshop and stages the spares for each day according to the job cards.
Please make sure that all the job cards for yesterday are captured, and please remove what is on the board, okay, that are completed. Team, let's have a safe working day. Any challenge, please report. Thank you very much.